I am here to just talk about how I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling very disconnected. It's been a long time since I've actually spoken to my audience in the video camera. I used to do Staying True Live, where I would just talk about my life and just like my journey and my healing journey, to be specific. But now I just feel like those times are so far away from me. But right now I'm just dealing with grief. Grief, you know. As of today, my dad has been gone since September 28th. So it's a month and a few weeks. And truthfully, when I look at myself from before that happened, I can see in myself the innocence that was there that is no longer here with me. And maybe that's just a part of the grieving process as well. But what I could say is I feel so different. It's like I'm happy, but I'm not. It's like a spark in me just kind of went away. Um, I just feel like this period of my life has taught me a lot about myself, a lot about, the human life, God, and what, life really is. And it's very short. And nobody knows loss until they lose somebody that is significant to them, right? A lot of the things that people have told me is like, oh, it gets better with time, or, I'm here for you, or I'm there for you, or whatever. But truthfully, it doesn't get better with time, not for me. In fact, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. I've been, the thing about my life is I have to keep going, and that's just the type of person that I am, and that's who I figured out who I was. I am the type of person that just keeps going. I do not stop, because the minute I stop, it's like I feel like the world will be on my chest. But truthfully, it doesn't get better. It feels worse, because as time goes on, you're realizing that, oh my God, the more time goes on, the more you realize that they're not coming back. So that gets harder, right? Every time I feel like I want to pick up the phone and be like, I gotta call my dad, I can't. So that's hard. You know what I mean? It's not easier. In the moment, I could say I was in shock, because a lot of people were asking me how I was doing, and I seemed fine. But then nobody was there when I really crashed. Nobody's fault. But nobody was there when I actually crashed. I crashed. I was like, whoa, this is real. My life is real. This is happening. And losing a parent, the only parent that you really, really knew, I don't know what to say. It's not a good feeling, and I don't think that it gets better with age either, right? If I was an older woman, knowing that, our parents age and it's gonna happen, it doesn't get better. It doesn't feel easier. Your parent is your parent, the person that has the person that has raised you, nurtured you, guided you, protected you, no longer there. What are you supposed to do? All I can really say is there is no one to continue my life. I have to keep going. And I get emotional when I think about it, because I can't not help it. I've never lost somebody before. At the end of the day, I know I have a good support system around me. I've learned who my friends really are, and it's pretty much everybody I hang around. Um, but mostly it just taught me that a different part of life, like everything that is was serious to me is not really serious anymore. Um, but it also taught me that everything I've done up until now, the choices and the decisions and everything that I've done up till now was the right choice, because I'm in a perfect space to be dealing with what I'm dealing with. The perfect space, the perfect people, the perfect support. Um, but the only thing that I could say is, like, we're getting older. The people that are within my age group, anyways, we're getting older, and maybe not in my age group, but we're getting older, and our parents are aging. Like, they are living a specific era that we won't understand until we get there, if we ever do. And it's probably scary for them. Their children are grown and they're gone. Like, they're living their lives, they're starting their own lives. And then our parents just get to sit back and watch it, you know? Not with us understanding how lonely it could be for them. Even if they have a partner, it's still lonely, because, like, their whole life was dedicated to us as kids. And we forget that. That's just, I guess, human nature. Is like, we forget that, like, our parents are people too, and they're also going through life for the very first time. So we have to have grace, we have to have love, we have to have empathy. We have to understand that at the end of the day, they're human. They are making mistakes. They've made mistakes, and I'm pretty sure they'll regret things that they'll never tell you that they've regretted. Because, they're there to protect us, they're there to guide us, and they've done their best, even if they've done their worst. Um, True life truly begins when you can let go and forgive and understand and have, real solid gratitude within your heart, and understand that nothing that happens to you is for a reason that you cannot live through and a reason that you cannot get through. And it's up to us to fight whatever battles that are given to us. And the minute we're aware, the minute that we can accept, and the minute that we can grow from our hardships, is where true healing begins. And years ago, I hit a place where I was just done, mentally, physically, emotionally. But it was like an inner fight and physical fight within myself, and, like, people around me and everything around me. I was just like, I was trying to stay in a certain, like, bubble, but, like, everything inside of me needed to break through it. And the minute I did, it was the minute I realized who I was and who I was supposed to be. And a lot of that I attest to my dad. My dad, when I think about him, I just think about love. Looking over there because his picture is there, but I just think about a man that sacrificed everything to make sure that, like, we had it good. His story is probably the greatest story I can ever tell, which I've never told. I have told to people that are close to me and have been, but I've never told it to the greatest extent that I should have. But my dad is probably one of the most bravest, smartest, strongest, loving, caring, determined person that I'll ever meet. And when I look at him, I see me. I see who he created. And, I haven't had a perfect life. I'm not perfect. I've made my own mistakes. I've, regretted things that I've done, said, and felt. But at the end of the day, the only thing that I hold true and dear to myself is that I've stayed true. I've stayed true to every cell in my soul, in my body. I have always stayed true because I knew exactly where I came from. I knew exactly who I was. I knew exactly what I was fighting for. And I knew going into the world that I was not like everybody else. I did not have the same story. I did not have the same mind. I did not have the same heart. But through all of that, the only thing that I'm super grateful for is that my heart hasn't hardened. It hasn't darkened. It actually grew more love for people that I can see struggling, or people that are just dying to be heard, because there's a story to tell in everybody's story. Sorry, in everybody's life. There's a story to tell, and it's like, I'm that person that wants to bring it out. And knowing who I am and, understanding where I come from and what I've seen and what I've been through and the circumstances around my life, I just know that it's not for no reason. Because not a lot of people can say that they can go through what I've gone through and come out a person that is strong and, determined and, willing to beat all the odds, right? It's very easy. Like, the mind is weak. The mind can be weak anyway. It can be weak. Mental illness is just around the corner for all of us. It just takes something to set us off, right? And I've been through my fair share of ups and downs, but the only thing that really got me through everything is God. God has got me through it all. And all I can say is that with the passing of my dad, it has changed me, definitely for the better. I'm definitely different, and I'm in a good way for some, because I have like zero tolerance, even more. I guess this is like part one of my grieving process. This is me now coming to terms with the fact that my life is different. And this is me now wanting to tell a story. Not just of me, but just of my father. My father deserves to live on with tremendous dignity and legacy that he started. And that's through me and my siblings. He did not have a perfect life. He did not have an easy life. In fact, to this day, he wanted to do things differently and he was not satisfied. That's what breaks my heart a little bit, because I know he was not where he felt he wanted to be with everything. But at the end of the day, all we can do is just keep moving forward and praying and understanding that we do the best we can do while we're here. And I try to tell myself that all the time. I do. First of all, I never thought I'd ever cry on camera, so that's interesting. Guess it's a little emotional time for me, and it's just awkward but weird, but also very, very real, because I want to express what I'm going through, and this is the only way I know how. And the only advice that I can give to me and people my age and like anybody else that is struggling or thinks that they will or is, you know, going through something that they don't want to talk about, is that the only thing that matters is saying what you have to say and doing what you have to do, and do not regret it. As awkward and as painful as it might feel, once they're gone, anyone in your life, once they're gone, they're never coming back. Ever. And you will have to live with that. If you are feeling that you need to say or do something, you will have to live with the fact that you didn't do it. Our parents are our biggest blessing, especially when you get to bury. If you get to bury your parents, consider yourself lucky, because that's how it's supposed to be. That's the natural order. But sometimes, you know, things come sooner rather than later. And my dad was blessed to live till 75. And, you know, each time I visited him and talked to him, because I didn't live very close to him. He's in Maryland, I'm in Canada. But every time I saw him, I just hugged him. I didn't hug him in front of my other siblings because it would have been awkward, because we're not that kind of family. But I hugged him. The last time I saw him, I hugged him. I don't know why I felt I needed to, but I needed to. Took a picture with him, and he just looked at me and said, "I know why you are the way you are." All that to say, I was not the easiest child. I was definitely not a person that liked to listen, but I was definitely a person that understood my father. But he looked at me and he understood that, like, I really stayed true to who I was. No matter the defiance in him and, like, the fights that we would have, and, you know, the things that he would tell me and the things that I would be scared of. Like, you know, my dad was a disciplinary. Like, I was scared. He was not a man that you can just come and talk to about anything. If it didn't make sense, he would tell you. But he was definitely my father. He was definitely my father. And you gotta tell your parents what you gotta tell them. No matter how awkward it is, no matter how strange it is, no matter how much they want to pull away, tell them. Because that's what I wish I could do right now. And it's not a nice feeling to not be able to do that. Even though I did it, I want to do it over and over and over. Because every time I saw my dad, I just wanted to hug him. He was so cute. You know, his aging, it's like they go back to baby states, you know, like that. It's like now you're the parent. But there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him. Even before he passed, every 10, 20 minutes, I have a thought about my dad. No matter where I am, if I'm in a meeting, if I'm talking to my friends, if I'm home alone, if I'm at the gym, if I'm with a client, thinking about my dad. And it doesn't get easier when you see, you know, a parent or somebody outside that looks like your parent. I can't even begin to describe how many times I've seen an old black man that looks like my father. And I'm like, there he is. But it's not him. And it'll never be him. Love your parents. You never get them twice. Love your parents. Just love them.